Let me get a sense of what we got out there. How many people, this was their first go-go concert they've ever seen? And raise your hand, be honest. All right, all right. And how many people you seen too many go-go concerts to even count? All right, we got a mixture. We got a good mixture. We got a good mixture. One of the things that you did, Greg, as the convener of this event, is I think based the development, the flow of the music on the conduction process, conduction principle that ancestor Bush Morris developed. Dee was talking about ancestor Chuck Brown, very worthy. Bush is another ancestor. Give you a chance just to speak about the conduction aspect and how you incorporate that.
Yeah, well, conduction, as Bobby was saying, was invented by a mentor of ours who recently passed away, Mr. Lawrence Butch Morris. And he developed this system for conducting large ensemble improvisation. And he invented about 25 different cues that allow you to completely rearrange, reorchestrate, redirect the music in real time with live musicians. And musicians playing any kind of instrument. Musicians who don't even speak the same language. As long as they know what the cues mean, they're speaking the same language. You know, they're speaking a language in time and space and improvisational creativity. And so our band's Burnt Sugar's been together about 12 years now. And we had adopted Butch's system. We worked with Butch several times. And it's kind of like, it's our MO, it's our modus operandi. And we've done a lot of different collaborations and projects over the last few years. We worked with Mr. Melvin Van Peebles, bringing a version of his Sweetback to the stage as an opera in Paris. We did a theatrical tribute to James Brown at the Apollo. We did a show of all Steely Dan music with Vernon Reid. And that conduction element is always there. It's kind of like our through line. It's the way in which we kind of open up the music to even more creativity than is inscribed in whatever the text of those people's musics are.
You think it'd be worthwhile to maybe talk about one or two guidances that you gave to them?
Oh, okay.
From a conduction standpoint?
Yeah. I mean, I can do it with the audience.
Okay,
Quick.
cool.
So I guess I do need this. So this is the most basic gesture. It means two things. It means we are about to begin, and it means sustain. And that means that when that falls, you make one continuous sound. And every time it falls, you change that sound. So we'll just try that real quick. So just wait for the baton to fall and just make a sound. And sound is whatever you consider sound to be. You could make it with your voice. You could make it slapping your palms, snap your fingers, stomp your feet. It's just whatever sound means to you. But just every time, the baton falls, the mic baton falls, you change your sound. So let's try it. There you go. And the thing is that musicians will recognize that's amazing about this is that, nobody was given a key, was given a note, yet there was a complete unity. And that's part of the magic of the thing that Butch discovered, because he worked with musicians from Turkey, from Japan, from Senegal, from China. And sometimes he had to have a translator to teach them the system. They didn't speak each other's language, but when you saw the concert, everybody knew what this meant, everybody knew what the other cues meant, and they created like a beautiful new musical language and experience. So that's conduction.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you. And Bush never made it to the Kennedy Center, but he almost did through that conduction that Greg did with you guys, and you did very, very well. Any more questions from our audience? Because we are getting close to the close.
What's up, fellas? So, hey. So I got here for like the last 12 minutes, but I, got to see a little bit of it. When I initially came, because I knew you were doing the thing with Burnt Sugar, and I know they have this background of like experimental, avant-garde kind of sounds, I thought, well, maybe it'll be a merger of that. I didn't know, but it was cool regardless. You kind of hit the sort of like Chuck Brown swing, like kind of like staple swing. So mine is sort of like a two-part question based on that. One, do you think that there is room within go-go for like avant-garde sounds, experimentation, or is go-go so rooted in a certain type of pocket that it has to be that no matter what? And then secondly, I've been, I'm from DC, so I've been around like when we dance go-go like in the gym from the Chuck Brown days all the way up to like backyard days. And I've been seeing a lot of these new bands, these younger bands, who are almost taking go-go in sort of like a punk kind of direction. It's more aggressive, it's getting louder, it's even more minimal. So what do you guys think about that just in general, like experimentation, the future of go-go, what kind of shapes are, possible? Thanks.
So I think that go-go can be anything, again, as long as the percussion is underneath, and Burnt Sugar just proved that. We were together 2 days in New York, and the next day we were in the Lincoln Center, and 3 days after that we were in the Kennedy Center. But long as, no matter what the song was, the go-go was underneath. There was 5 songs from Mark Curry's camp, which is indigenous people, 5 songs from Burnt Sugar's camp, and then 3 or 4 songs from us. About bounce beat, what you're referring to, I might be a little different about this because I kind of feel when there has been enough change in a genre, then it becomes something else. Like Chuck Brown was an R&B artist, but when he tinkered with it enough, it became go-go. In my opinion, and I don't know, just my opinion, bounce beat has changed things enough to now, to me, that's bounce beat, not go-go.
Let me jump on that too. Now you have to understand you're talking to people of a certain age up here, right? And that go-go exists or is only a certain amount of years old. And I'm a big fan, like Donnell Floyd, I think I know for a fact is, of the golden age of go-go. And Donnell is one of those people came through in the golden age and has transitioned over into this age, into grown and sexy, et cetera, and thriving now. But if you think about the quote-unquote basic go-go pocket, which is the thing we're talking about, that comes from someplace else anyway, but now has been added more definition to it, that's still embryonic in a way. We say go-go's been around 30 years, 40 years, but that's no time when you talk about folk art and folk expression. The people who make go-go, the poor people who began in this city in the DC public schools, who had a certain kind of education, a certain kind of musical training, and their art goes as their lives go. So when you ask the question about can go-go, can that pocket change? I think, of course, it can change, but it will only go as the people's lives go and their social interactions go and as they bring more types of behavior and sound and noise. Because we're ultimately not talking about genre, we're talking about black noise. And that's what D. Floyd's sister's question. Black noise stays open beyond genre. Like these things can connect because black noise, blues, jazz, the changing same, all that, leaves a window for the next thing. And then the next thing comes along. So when you say it sounds punk, that's because you're limited to the reference of punk. That sound is way before punk. That hi-hat jumping up and down, you can hear that in some of the stuff that Motown got rid
Holiness
of.
Church.
Some of the church, the sanctified church. It comes back now as bounce because we live in the Trinity package, make something, name it, commodity age. But it's still something that was around forever. So here come the kids now. Now, I'm a golden age person, so I would say, yeah, it's taking its own branch, and I'm gonna let it name itself. But the problem is that there's a riot going on in that. That shit sounds. Remember when the first time you heard Public Enemy? It's like cops was coming and somebody was chasing you and it was an alarm. That's that go-go. They upset. The Rototom said, "Fuck the Congos, it's our turn." They losing it, and anybody leave talking no more. They jumping around, they ain't listening to their mamas and daddies. They pants down to their ankles. But they your kids, not brothers. So I'm just saying, it might give it a chance, and it's up to you to do the next thing. But it's still black noise, no matter what we call it. And we got to resist those categories, even though they're beautiful, right? Right.